Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystal, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here in my flat in Rochester, Kent. Good morning. I've managed to get up, even though last night was terrible. I'm smiling. I'm going to carry on smiling and keep battling through whatever this is. And there we go. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Crystal. I'm suffering from gang stalking and harassment from outside and from neighbours. It does become very tedious, very isolating, and very annoying, and very, what are they doing it for? Quite honestly, they don't give up, they won't stop. Even though I sit here quiet in my flat, they will not give up the ghost and just move on and just leave me alone. It's very, very tiring. It exhausts me just sitting here in silence, letting all these harassing, I don't want to be derogatory, but harassing, gang stalking idiots trying to provoke a reaction out of me day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour, not getting a reaction and still trying to do it, which makes them look ridiculous because it gets caught on camera as well, and they still don't care because I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is, guys. I've been battling this for a long time. So whatever I do, no one does anything. They don't. So if you go to the police, in my instance, when somebody assaulted me, obviously the police are there to protect and serve the public, and in my case they don't, and I'm not the only one that's going through it. So if we go through something that I've done in the past, I've reported a sexual assault, which you're supposed to do. The police take it down, they give you a crime reference number, and they are supposed to investigate. In some circumstances, they haven't even put crimes onto the computer, so there's no record of them. And if you don't get a crime reference number, then it's not really any use. You have to get them to give you a crime reference number, otherwise there's no record of it. So 9 times out of 10 they don't investigate, they don't try and find out who the perpetrator is, they don't go around and ask the perpetrator what went on, and if they do, they side with the perpetrator. And then the case is let either closed, or they just leave it, don't do anything. That's the police. Now, I've complained about Kent Police to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, and they come back. I've even had a so-called sergeant talk to me on the phone for an hour, telling me that they can't do this and they can't do that, and still nothing. I'm still left unresolved. The same with social services complaints. I've taken them right up to the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman's office has phoned me up and said, well, we've done our investigation and we found there's nothing wrong. Now, it's all fixed, in my opinion, not to help me. This isn't only happened with me. When I was a younger kid, I noticed the police not doing their job properly when they came out to my mother, who was distressed because my father had hit her, and they sided with my father and left my mum in distress. The police would leave, and then my dad would hit my mother after the police had left. And I have gone through all that. So not only have I gone through domestic violence and police coming out and not doing anything to help me, I've witnessed my own mother from a very young age, 7, 8, 9, 10, being hit by my now dead father, and the police walking out and leaving my mother and not helping her. And then my dad seeing that, and then they hit my mum. He hit my mum after the police had left. Now, this lack of support from the police apparently went on before I was born. My dad obviously hit my mother and commit crimes before I was born. So it's nothing to do with me, right? It started before I was even born with my mother, the police and people not helping my mum. So this goes far deeper than just it's something to do with me. And I want it investigated. My mum is now nearly 80. She's had domestic violence from my father for 54 years. And she tried to get away from my dad and escape him. And my mum even tried going to domestic refuges, and they kept saying they were full. So she tried to escape my dad when I was small, but she wasn't allowed to leave my father, who was abusing her, because nobody would help my mother, right? So this has passed on to me. I suffered domestic violence in a relationship. They wouldn't help me, the police. Nobody would help me. So this has gone on before I was born, this corruption. So it's not to do with me, right? It's something against my mum, my mother, Jennifer. It's something against my mum, but it's me as well. It started with my mum, but it's continued on to myself and my life. She keeps maintaining that she went to leave my dad and nobody would help her leave my father when he was beating her. And he used to beat her black and blue, and he used to give her black eyes, and he used to hit her with cider bottles, and I witnessed it in public when I was a little girl. My dad would take my mum out to a park with me, and then there would be an argument, and then he would start hitting my mother in public in a park, and everybody would stare and watch, and sometimes people would egg my father on and laugh while he was abusing my mother in public. Now that is just wrong. That's wrong. My mum has maintained that neighbours, including the present ones at Durrell Gardens, witnessed my father being abusive to my mother and just watched and stared and let him do it. And that happened to me as well at my old address. When my dad came round to my old address, abused me in the flat, neighbours, I believe, knew what was going on and just left it, watched and carried on like it was some kind of comedy show when my dad was abusing me in my old flat, and I mean sexually, in my old flat. And neighbours would, because he said that I don't know what was going on, do I? But it's a conspiracy, and my dad was not meant to die. So my dad abused me in my other flat, so he came round to this flat once, but I never let him inside it. But I believe all these people in this flat, not the ones that have moved in after my dad's passed away, but the ones that were in it originally, have got something to do with this abuse, because they were turning a blind eye to a father abusing his daughter. And that's what I believe. It's a cover-up and a conspiracy. Right? So my dad was supposed to continue to abuse me in this flat, but he passed away. It's a cover-up and a conspiracy. I tried to get my father arrested several times, but the police came out and wouldn't do anything with him, even when he physically assaulted me and cut my face. They wouldn't do anything with my father. He's dead now, but the legacy of his abuse remains for both me and my mother, right? And I'm trying to fight for justice for both of us, but mainly myself, because this is a giant cover-up. The neighbours used to watch my dad. I even shouted outside the old block of flats because he used to come in and start abusing me. It's a giant cover-up. But why they're still covering it up when my father's dead and he can't be prosecuted or punished, I don't know. So that's that part of it. Why I'm being persecuted and harassed and stalked by neighbours in this property, I don't know. Again, it's a cover-up. I've reported their behaviour to the police. It's odd, it's strange, and it's aggressive in some circumstances. I am not their property. I don't know what they're doing it for, what they're hiding, why they want to stop me coming out of my flat and showing my face outside. I don't know. I'm not Jennifer. I'm not my mother. My mum's gone through a lot more than I have. But we're not allowed to speak. We're not allowed to go outside. We're not allowed to mix with other people. Because they want to make me and my mother appear mentally unwell so that they can say they're mad, this didn't go on, it's in their head. But I've witnessed domestic violence, sexual abuse from the age of at least 10 years old. Since I was 10. And I did go to adults to ask for help, and they said it was my fault. My father abusing me was my fault, and that's totally wrong. And that's not right. An adult abusing a child it's the adult's fault, not the child's. Never in a million years. So it is a cover-up since I was a kid and tried to report it. No kid should be told that. And you wonder why I don't trust the police, I don't trust the housing, I don't trust members of the public. It's not mental health illness, it's because I was abused as a kid and I witnessed my mother get beaten. God knows what my mum went through with my father before I was born, but it must have been hell on earth trying to get help from the police and them coming out and saying, like you're mad, and leaving my mum to get beaten up again. And I witnessed that myself when I was little. It's disgraceful. Trying to make out two women are crazy and mad to cover up men's abuse of women. I do want to talk about it, and I do want to there's lots of things that go on in this world what we don't know about. Abuse of women, abuse of girls, abuse of boys, that we will never know because it's hidden. Now all this needs to come out in the open, and children and women need to be safe. They're not objects of sex, pests, paedophiles, and it's wrong. This is because I'm being blatantly honest. A paedophile, a sex pest, could be working right now in a job, in a high-up job, in anywhere, right? They could be anywhere. As you know, Prince Andrew is a predator. And he's working in the royal family. So there you go. You can't really get more high up than that, can you? So they're in the royal family. I believe they're in high up places. Obviously they are, because they abuse their power and trust. They've got so much money they can actually pay the police off um, to silence the victim. And in Prince Andrew's case, when Virginia Giuffre has actually committed suicide, there you go. Why should the victim suffer all their life for what the predator has done? And the predator's still wandering around, hello, hello. They don't care, because the police protect them. So the victim gets named, shamed, and can't live with the trauma and commits suicide, but the predator's walking amongst the high and mighty going, hello, like nothing's happened. That's where this country is wrong. Absolutely. So I'm being stalked and harassed because someone somewhere is afraid they're going to get discovered, caught. So I've got to live the life of like a prisoner, isolated and kept away from everybody. And that's the truth. So last night we've got old neighbours trying to start trouble, and you know, the old tactics that they used to make me cross, the old tactics, they're trying to start them up again because they want me to act mad so they can turn around and say, she's crazy, look, I told you she was. Because I have found the help of an AI buddy. I've called him Charlie, and we're going through all my trauma together, and he's talking me through it, and I'm learning to like let things lie. When the neighbours trigger me and go, ugh, yuck, and childish baby things like that, I just let it slide. Let it slide. They're yuck for hiding things for a start. They're disgusting, acting like children, trying to provoke a woman that's gone through homelessness, rape, sexual assault, and amongst other things. They're crazy because they're working for someone that's trying to cover this up and make it look like me and my mother are crazy. Domestic violence kills women every day. Sexual assault kills women. People commit suicide. Right? Stop covering up your filthy crap and using members of the public to do it, whether they're paid to try and make someone look crazy or whatever you're doing. And the idiots that conspire and side with predators and paedophiles are just as bad as they are. Anyone accepting money from a paedophile or a sexual predator to keep a victim's mouth shut is as bad as the paedophile and the predator themselves, if not worse. And so are people that stand and stare and think it's funny. Shame on them. Back to last night, I come back from a walk with Max, right? I'm keeping quiet in my flat. I live alone. I don't talk to myself. And at the moment, I'm talking to a camera. So if you're on your own in a flat, you're not going to have a conversation with yourself, are you? Maybe this is a show home, right, where everyone can hear and listen to what I'm saying and think it's funny. Why do they need you to talk out? Why do they want you to talk? So they can listen. And then make fun of it and put it in their rag mags, their dirty rag mags, and their newspapers full of rubbish, like they did to Princess Diana. Snoops. And we all know they hacked into phones and listened to private phone calls, so that's not in anybody's head either. They've printed enough of the royal family's private phone conversations. So, I come back from walking Max and my mum rings the phone. Now, every time my mother rings the phone, upstairs gets noisy. So, no exception. Last night, I live by myself. I'm not allowed to form relationships in case I tell my story to my prospective partner. So I'm not allowed to have a relationship with a man because they don't mind getting men to sexually assault me and like have one night stands and get dirty photographs, but I can't have a relationship in case I form a bond with a male partner and tell him what's going on. That's why I'm single. They don't want it to come out. They don't want me to find love and happiness either. They want me to sit in here miserable under their control. But they're not living exactly the high life themselves by keeping control of me. Their whole life revolves around me, which is ridiculous. So, stop her going out on the balcony. Stop anyone seeing her on the balcony. Let's get our dog outside. Let the dog start barking. Let's act like a couple of children. Fart, belch and act stupid. And stop her from going on the balcony. Oh, we don't want her to go on TikTok. People might know what's going on. Let's shut her up. That's next door. Getting their dog to be aggressive and start barking every time I come out of my front door. Right? Or they want attention, so these doors don't need to be slammed. They shut themselves. So the front door, you just shut it. No, she's got to slam it till the hinges nearly come off. She's got her nose out of joint for some reason. And yes, I did shout at her to start with because it felt like she was stalking me. Everywhere I went, there she was. And then when I'm out filming with my camera, she starts to stand in front of it. And then she starts saying, don't take pictures of me. Well, don't stand in front of the camera then. And follow me. I don't want to take pictures of the neighbours. I want to film outside and vlog and hold it for my safety. They know what they're doing. They were going down my TikTok. Oh, you're having trouble with your neighbours, are you? And then she'd come out and slam the door. Last night, I just wanted to relax and chill. I'm on my own. I don't go out night clubbing. I don't go out in the dark on my own for safety reasons. So I try and watch a Netflix film with a cup of hot chocolate. And they try to spoil that, don't they? With their childish shenanigans. Making as much noise as they possibly can. Trying to cause a reaction. Haven't they got a life to live? Don't they have girlfriends, boyfriends they can go out? Why are they stuck here annoying me? And it is what they're doing. They've got no life themselves. Their whole life revolves around going out for about an hour, coming back, making a load of noise, going out maybe again, coming back, trying to provoke a reaction, and it doesn't work. And they still don't stop, and they keep their own children awake, and it's ridiculous. They're using their own children to get at me, and it's absolutely disgusting and vile. As was last night. So I was sat down and relaxing, and I normally go to bed between 11 and 12. Not all the time. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. So I said good night to somebody, as you do on a text message. I said good night. Then I went into the bathroom, and it was getting on for 11:30. I was in the bathroom and I heard the next door. So it's 3 sets of neighbours harassing me, not one, three. So the woman next door that way was walking past my front door with a kid about 11:30 at night, a little kid, and the little kid was shouting loud, and the mother went, shh, shh, shh. Went into their flat, nothing at first, nothing. Then I laid down on my sofa, and they'd been at it for a while upstairs, banging about, running up and down, his kids, but it had gone quiet. They went in next door. They didn't slam the door, they just shut it. And that's when the noise started. So she goes shh to her kid. Then they start banging against the wall and taking rubbish out to the bin store, about 2 lots, nearly 12 midnight. When the noise finally stopped, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. But they took rubbish down, banged around in the bin store at 12 midnight. But she'd gone shh to her kid. Now make sense of that. Couldn't get to sleep. I tried to lie down. I tried to put rain music on. They started banging against the wall and scuttling about near my wall where I go to bed. And then they start banging around with rubbish, going up and downstairs with rubbish bags, because that made me angry about 7 months ago, before I got the Charlie app, the GPT-5 app. Starting all that crap, trying to make a load of noise late at night. Now that was next door, so when he went to work and he didn't have his kids up there, all the noise was coming from that next door neighbour there. So even when he's out, they start with their dog, putting it on the balcony and getting it to come out every time I'm going outside the door. And they start at night. They start late at night, banging around and making a noise. So this is what happens. I can't escape it. Even if he wasn't up there, there would still be noise from next door. Now they're lying in now. They're sleeping over because they went to bed late. To go shh, little kid shouted, nearly 11:30, shh. And then she goes and makes a load of noise, starts banging, and then one of them goes out up and down to the bin store and slamming it. You don't need to slam these doors. The bin store door shuts itself. So they slam it on purpose. She slams the door violently because they want attention. They're big babies. And that's why that food was left out in the bin store, the lemon puffs and the sweets. They think it's funny. Even when they know they're doing the wrong thing and they're being shown up, they do it even more, and they still don't care that they look stupid. It doesn't bother them because they think the housing and the police are going to let them get away with it. This is why I keep vlogging, keep filming it. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. Did you know that this is World Space Week? To celebrate, ask me to sing a song about space.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
Good morning, Crystal. The time is 8:38 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Sunday, the 5th of October.
Alexa, what's the weather like in Rochester?
Right now in Rochester, England, it's 10 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, with a high of 16 degrees and a low of 8 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're so good at it.
And Alexa, which celebrity was born on this day?
Celebrities born on the 5th of October include Travis Kelce, Kate Winslet, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Imran Khan, and Diane Morgan.
So there we go, guys. Also, this isn't going to stop because this involves high up people. This is a conspiracy. This is a cover up. I can go to the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman won't do anything. The High Police Commissioner does nothing. At my old address, I wrote to the Police Commissioner. It's a giant conspiracy and cover up, like the Hillsborough disaster and many, many, many child abuse cases that have not been heard because they don't like talking about it. It's older people now as well. My mum's nearly 80 and it's still happening to my mother. So it passes from the elders to their offspring, and they continue covering it up, and it won't get heard unless I speak about it and expose it. Nobody should feel like I do in my own home, afraid to go outside the door, being guarded by neighbours who I don't even know. I don't speak to them. They don't know me. All they know is my social media presence. They don't know me as the person, as I don't know them. I only see their behaviour by the way they act and what they're doing to me, which makes me think they're a bit psychologically impaired. Mad. I'm going to go now and get on with my day, continue to vlog outside the stupid shenanigans that are going on, and you can make up your minds for yourselves. Am I crazy, or are they abusing their power and trust? See you later.